Hello and welcome back to the channel. This is Jimmy. Thank you for clicking on another video. Have you ever woke up from a 6 to 8 hour nap and you still feel like you're exhausted? Or, you had 2 days off and found that they wasn't that productive. You didn't want to get out of bed. You're extremely exhausted. You're tired. I will tell you that I've been here before, and I think we all have. And it can be really hard to get to a positive place when you are stressed. And that feeling of getting rest but still feeling like you're drained, from my experience, often come from stress. And there's a lot of different types of stress, right? Your financial stress, maybe you're stressed out about your kids, you can be stressed out about your future, which I kind of equate to anxiety. Either way, if you find yourself chronically stressed or constantly stressed, it could be that there's time for a change. Today's topic is going to be about a continuation from the last video, how to stop complaining. But this is more about how to move out of a place of worry. I often find that we're so worried about things that we can't control. I don't spend a lot of time on social media, but I can't scroll more than 60 seconds without some type of message about Trump or the previous administration and how bad things are. I was watching a Tony Robbins video. Tony Robbins put on a 3-day event. I'll be joining day 3 here shortly. But he talked about this method. He did this quick experiment. When he tell you to close your eyes and imagine everything in your environment that was red. And then when you open your eyes, to find everything that was brown. And that's really challenging to do because in your mind, you were just visualizing red, right? And you're trying to recall all the things that was red in your environment. And so for your brain to quickly switch to brown, it's hard because you went into your conscious mind focused on red. And that's what I feel out about a lot of elections. But Trump's not your problem, you are. If you are so focused on what the president of the United States is always doing, how can you really focus on how to make your situation better? And I'm not going to say that presidents don't do things or world leaders don't do things that have impact on all of us. But the power we give it is up to us. One of my favorite, most simplest quotes is, if a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? And the young contrarian in me used to want to debate that, right? Like, yes, it does make a sound. Scientifically, it's always going to make a sound, whether you're there or not to see it. Your tree is making a sound. But that's really not what that question is trying to ascertain. Is if I don't know that the tree fell, it only makes a sound if I believe it does. It's only important if I give it power. Because a tree falling in the forest, at the end of the day, doesn't have a lot of impact on me or a lot of weight unless if I give it that power. And some of us are giving the president of the United States too much power. We've, for the last 4 years, heard nothing but on the media about how bad Trump is as a person and as a president and as a leader. And here we are. And I think about the last 4 years. How did Trump negatively impact my life? It didn't. Because I didn't let him. There's no power. And I would say it's the same thing now that he's in office. There's not a lot I necessarily have to worry about. I have to worry about the things that I can control. And that's really where I like to spend my energy and like to spend my focus. It's focusing on the things that I impact and that I can control. I've been able to grow my income across multiple different administrations and presidents. And quite frankly, none of them none of them have had an impact on where I am today. And I would say the further you live from the capital, the least of an impact is going to necessarily have on you unless you let it. Because there's a will, there's always a way. There might be one door that's closed here, but there's doors that's open everywhere. And so I was talking to a friend the other night, and they were so stressed out. They were just telling me like how gloomy the world is, and didn't know if they wanted to stay in the country because of this past election. And while I empathize with them a little bit, I understand if you're watching the media, right, you think the world's on fire around you all the time. The person hung up on me when I said it, but I just asked them to step outside in their backyard, and was their world on fire? Were they able to see a lot of the things that was keeping them up at night? But as far as me worrying about it incessantly to the point to where I can't sleep and it's impacting my health, therefore it's impacting the way I show up for the people I really care about, my loved ones, my friends and families, my coworkers. If I put myself in this position to where I'm so worried about the things outside of my environment that I can't control, that I can't take care of the people in my vicinity, I can't care for the people I do have impact over, what's the point? And I ask people that all the time. Like, what is the point? Why would you want to feel that way? Why do you want to feel stress? And the only thing I can come up with is we're doing it because we're told to. We're doing it because we think we're supposed to. We think that by feeling that, right, it's taking some burden off the people that's going through it. And I can tell you it's not. And so think about how the things that you're focusing on, how much energy you're giving their current administration. And I want to ask you, how is it serving you? Is it moving you closer to your goals? If you're going to be a politician, maybe. Maybe you're going to run for office and you're going to do something about it. That would be a situation where I would say doom scrolling for hours is probably a good thing. It's getting you fired up to take action. But if all you're going to do is get angry and make a social media rant and then show up poorly for the people who really need you, is it worth it? So we're often so focused on the things that we cannot control, it has a physiological impact on our bodies. 99% of the time I've been sick, it's come at the moments I've been the most stressed out. And I would say 85% of those things I was stressed out about were things not in my control. And when I focused on the things that I could control, good things always happen. Like always happen. And so I often find myself asking myself, like, why am I dwelling on this thing? Why am I letting this thing make me upset? Or just finished reading Let Them by Mel Robbins. Love Mel Robbins. And, you know, I don't know where Mel Robbins falls from a philosophy perspective, but she definitely have a little bit of stoic in her. She's joining that camp. But in the book, you know, I love that she talked about like how she went through the struggle of letting her kids become adults and learning that she didn't have to control every aspect of their life. And that's really the whole premise of that book is let people do what they're going to do. Unless it's a direct impact on you, worrying about it very, very rarely is going to do anything for you. And a lot of the things you're worried about won't matter to you in 5 months. And if it is going to matter to you in 5 months, you need to do something about it. It's just that simple. But if you're worrying about who's in the White House, if you're worrying about an executive order on something that you've probably never even tried to take advantage of, and that's getting you worked up, think about what that's taking you away from. I see so many people stuck. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully this resonated. Hopefully it was helpful. If it didn't, drop a comment. I would love to have that debate. Love to have that discussion. And if you feel opposite, that angry rants or scrolling on social media is effective, I would love to hear a counterpoint because I've not heard one yet today. You know what to do. Share this video with somebody who needs to hear this message. Also, like and subscribe to the channel. We're going to continue to grow this thing. I think right now, 90% of people watching are not subscribed, and that really, really does help. I have some milestones that I really want to hit to this channel. I want to continue to grow my platform. I also created a TikTok about 3 weeks ago, which is I'm having a lot of fun with that. So the long form content's not for you. Go check out my TikTok page where I really cover the highlights. But with that said, this is Jimmy. I'll see y'all soon.